to my kitchen, the heart of my home. Today we're going to be learning how to make homemade pie crust. First thing you want to do is get out all of your ingredients for your pie crust. You're going to need your flour, salt, Crisco. I choose to use butter flavored Crisco, and cold water. I get mine out of my refrigerator because it seems to be the coldest. First step to making a homemade pie crust is 2 cups of flour. Some people sift the flour. I just kind of shake it up in the bag, make it nice and fluffy when you're putting it into your measuring cup. So you measure out 1 cup. And, well, that's not quite another cup. So you want 2 cups. And 2 cups of flour. You set that off to your side. Your next thing you want to do is add 1 teaspoon of salt. Once you add the salt to the flour, you want to kind of mix it up, give it a good stirring. Okay, once that is stirred, next thing you want to do is take 2/3 cup of Crisco. Like I said, I use butter flavored. I tend to like that the best in pies and pretty much anything that I bake. I happen to choose the butter flavored. So you want to get as much in there as you can, and it can be heaping. I got this recipe, luckily. I was lucky enough to be able to help with the local fire hall one holiday season, learning how to make pie crusts. For me, it was a frustrating adventure, but I was determined to be able to make homemade pie crusts for my family. Usually I have one of them, my husband, my daughter, my son. Somebody is usually in the kitchen helping me dicing and slicing and mixing everything together. But for today's program, I am on my own. So once you get your 2/3 cup, preferably all of it into the bowl, not onto the countertop. In the bowl, you want to start cutting it with a pastry cutter. One of the important steps on cutting the butter into the pastry is what will help determine whether you have a flaky pie crust or not. As explained by the Food Lab, the science of the pie dough, it all has to do with the balance interaction of gluten and fat. That is what determines the flakiness of a crust. You don't want it too mixed, and you don't want to undermix. You want to just mix it enough where it's about pea-sized mixture of the butter and the flour. One way you'll learn if you are over mixing your butter and flour together, you will have to add more water to get the flour to mix. If you overmix it, you won't have to use as much water, which is why they tell you the measurement plus 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. So the first thing once that's all cut together, you kind of start mixing it on low, get it mixed together. I do use a mixer. A lot of people mix by hand. Then I'm going to dump in half a cup of cold water. I turn it up just a little to get it a good mix. Add a little bit more before it's completely mixed all the way. Then the last minute or 2 of the pie mixing, you want to turn it up so it gets all of the flour and butter. Make sure it's nice. You don't want any dough sticking to the bowl when you're done mixing. Only takes a couple seconds, not too long. Once that is all mixed and your bowl is clean, you have beautiful pie dough. Easy to work with. Now, the biggest trick I learned with working with the Jefferson Fire Hall was how to roll out the pie dough. That was my nemesis. Every time I would have beautiful looking pie dough, every pie recipe I tried, I would put it in the fridge prior to rolling. I would leave it air room temperature prior to rolling. Well, this little trick I'm about to show you made a difference. So the first thing you want to do, you kind of roll your dough into a ball and separate it in half. You will need two even size balls of dough, because that is your top and your bottom layer of your pie crust, of your pie. So I put those back. The next step you want to do is take your counter and wet it down just a little, because the trick I am going to show you involves plastic wrap. You want to be able to stick the plastic wrap to the counter. Wetting the counter allows the plastic to stick a little better. So you take a sheet of plastic, lay that down. I will be laying down 2 sheets of plastic because I have a tendency to roll my dough too big and it comes out of the plastic. So you got your 2 pieces on the bottom. You can also go to your local Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, any of those stores where they sell commercial size plastic wrap, which is much larger. So you're going to put your dough in the middle, take another 2 sheets of plastic, place it on top of the dough for you to roll on top of. And once you get those 2 pieces placed, you're ready to start rolling out your dough. Some fun facts about pie dough. The first pumpkin pie was at the Pilgrims' second Thanksgiving, according to piecouncil.org, in 1623. As you're rolling out your pie dough, you want to kind of roll it on the slower side because it will wrap up inside the plastic. If you push it too hard, it tends to bubble. So you want to make sure your pie crust is about the size of your pie plate or whatever you're going to be baking your pies in. These are also great for a quick dinner of chicken pot pie, which my family loves. And since I've gotten so good at making my pie crust, it takes me minutes. Now I take off the top layer of my plastic wrap. Put that off. You can throw it away, put it off to the side. You can either take your now ready pie crust, put it right into your pie plate, or for what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to just fold it into half and then fold it in half again. And I will be placing it in the fridge. You can also stick it into a Ziploc bag, stick it in the freezer, and when you're ready, all you do is open it up, you open it again, and you put it in your pie plate, and you're ready to go.